Welcome to the keynote presentation and Awards of Excellence ceremony. Please welcome NGWA Chief Executive Officer Terry Morse, CIC.
Thank you. Welcome everybody. Look out, you're a good-looking audience. It's intimidating. For those of you who don't know me, again, I'm Terry Morse. I took over for Kevin McCrae. Last year I had the pleasure of sitting in the audience and being an attendee. So this is the first year I'm up here on stage and having to do this myself. So thank you. I also want to thank all the attendees who have come here this week. We have over, I think we're going to hit about 5,000 attendees from 33 different countries, and from those 33 different countries, about 400 attendees. So thank you for your participation. Today, we're here to recognize the NGWA Awards of Excellence and our keynote speaker, J.R. Martinez. And so I think it's going to be a morning filled of celebration, and looking forward to hearing what J.R., his life experiences and inspiration that he can bring to all of us. With that said, I want to thank all the sponsors. This event wouldn't be possible with the sponsors and exhibitors in the hall. So thank you. And for those of you who attended last night's welcome party, that was awesome. And our key sponsors for that, Franklin Electric, Baker Manufacturing, SRAM, and Watercolor. So thank you for your sponsorship of the welcome party. And with that, I want to recognize our diamond sponsor, Franklin Electric, Don Kenny.
Thank you, Terry. I trust everybody had a good time at the reception last night. Thank you for coming. And welcome to 2018 Groundwater Week. As Terry said, I'm Don Kenny. I'm with Franklin Electric, Vice President and President of North America Water Systems. It's the people who make this industry great. And seeing this level of commitment is very encouraging to the future of the industry. At Franklin Electric, we are committed to the industry integrity and to your business success has never been stronger. Service and support are paramount to our thriving relationship. In everything we do, the customer is at the forefront of our actions. Together, we strive to continue advancing the industry, which we are all committed to. It's a true partnership, and with Franklin Electric, you can count on dedicated people. Please stop by booth 419 and enjoy an interactive experience featuring hands-on demos, 15-minute educational sessions from our experts, and product innovations. Thank you again, and welcome to 2018 Groundwater Week. Thanks.
Last, I want to thank all the volunteers who make this event possible. It's truly a great organization. Wouldn't be possible with the support of our members, your membership itself, those who volunteer all their time and efforts to help us put on events like this, as well as the staff. I just want to recognize the staff. You'll see them around today in the red shirts. It's a year-long planning. Next year's event has already taken place in the planning process. So the volunteers, the sponsors, exhibitors, the members like you, the staff, this is truly a great organization, and it's truly better together because of all of us working together. So thank you. At this point, I want to introduce Mike Meyer, who will be the presenter for our awards. But, you know what? I'm sorry. I've been dealing with his son, Mike. This is Dan, the father. My fault. Dan Meyer. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. It is truly an honor to present these awards as we recognize individuals and companies who are making significant contributions to our industry. I want to thank my fellow committee members for all their efforts in the selection of today's recipients. Next, I'd like to welcome NGWA Awards Committee member Fred Rothage to help me present today's awards. Our first awards are the sectional awards. Please join me in welcoming the following honorees to the stage. John Helm Award for Excellence in Science and Engineering recipient is Tom Dara, PhD. The Manufacturers Section Special Recognition Award recipient is Corey Miller. The Supplier of the Year Award is Randy Lyon. Congratulations to Tom, Bill, Bob, Corey, and Randy. We thank you for your commitments and contributions to the groundwater industry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I skipped the page.
Tom's research is focused on the use of noble gas and isotopic analyses to solve important hydrological, geological, environmental, and biomedical problems. What sets Tom's work apart from the traditional geology and health themes is his very strong collaborations with medical researchers and relevance in terms of health issues of broad and contemporary concern, such as neonatal development, specifically in developing countries. Tom is a gregarious, accomplished individual with a relatively modest view of his significant accomplishments and successes in research. He displays intensity and energy for research that is off the scale, along with an entrepreneurial spirit both in terms of idea development and in finding potential organizations to fund those ideas. He is generous with his time and highly valued, both as a classroom teacher and research mentor. Although he is relatively early in his career, Tom is destined to be a real star in the field of chemical hydrogeology. Bob has over 40 years of experience in water resources engineering and computerized engineering analysis. A senior technical leader at CDM Smith, he specializes in groundwater flow and contaminant studies. Tom has a wealth of experience on groundwater projects, and his insight and guidance not only prevents potential errors and issues, but results in projects that better meet his clients' needs. He advocates for the collection of quality data to support decisions for projects both large and small. Throughout all his enthusiastic, diligent, and tireless work on behalf of NGWA, Bob is best known and appreciated for his generosity with his experience, technical knowledge, and extensive network. He continues to mentor many groundwater professionals and be an example of acumen, character, integrity, commitment, and industriousness. Bob is always eager to promote connections and sharing of knowledge between groundwater professionals. The scope of the work and activities that Bill leads and has led in the field of groundwater is broad and far-reaching. In his leadership positions in the USGS Office of Groundwater, Bill made national and international contributions to the field of groundwater hydrology. Many have benefited from Bill's strong science background, and relationships have been made more effective by Bill's ability to clearly articulate his vision, by his skill building partnerships across agencies, organizations, and individuals, and by his recognized integrity. Through his dedicated service and leadership to the National Groundwater Association, the USGS, and Subcommittee on Groundwater, Bill has made outstanding and lasting contributions to the NGWA's mission to advance groundwater knowledge and the success of its members. In 1982, Randy founded Preferred Pump and Equipment in Fort Worth, Texas. The company has grown to 50 branch locations in the U.S., employing over 500 employees. Preferred from the outset has concentrated on the groundwater industry, servicing the residential and agriculture pump market. preferred pump, has been active in providing product for water well drilling and pump installations in many parts of the world, including Mexico, Panama, Africa, and other disadvantaged areas of the world. Randy is proud to be a productive member of a fantastic group of people that make up this groundwater industry that provides an invaluable service and product to millions of Americans and people around the world. Water is life, and we are instrumental in providing safe water to sustain life. Corey started C. Miller Drilling, Inc. and designed and built his first drilling rig equipped with the first hydraulic drive mud pump in 1983 and opened Centerline Manufacturing in 1986. Corey continues to develop and manufacture Centerline Direct Hydraulic Drive mud pump technology. Centerline pumps brought high mud pump capacity to small drilling rigs in a size and weight that was previously unimaginable. Centerline pumps weigh under 10% per horsepower of the weight of traditional gear-driven duplex pumps in lengths and widths that provided manufacturers with the ability to provide a broad range of mud pump capacity within the limits of a small standardized deck platform. Corey's innovative design has made it where rig manufacturers can market a rig in such a way that it meets all regulations and specifications to meet any industry standards and requirements, and could be altered to meet any requirements the industry would require.
I need to back up for a second and introduce the two recipients of the Scientists and Engineers Section's Keith E. Anderson Award. Bill Cunningham, MS. Bob Schreiber, PE, BCE, WDWR. Thank you. Congratulations to Tom, Bill, Bob, Corey, and Randy. We thank you for your contributions to the groundwater industry. And my apologies, gentlemen.
Thank you.
The NGWA Fellow designation represents recognition by recipients, peers, and the NGWA of outstanding credentials and professional accomplishments. Please join me in welcoming the following honorees to the stage. Bernard Cooper and Bill Wasner, PhD. Two hands, huh? Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Bernie has made major contributions to the field of groundwater remediation, particularly with respect to sites impacted by dense, non-aqueous phase liquids and the development of innovative treatment technologies. Results from his modeling, physical model, and field studies have advanced the understanding of and ability to anticipate chemical migration and the performance of in situ remediation systems in complex subsurface systems. The impact of Bernie's work has been amplified by his excellent communication skills. He is one of the few who can converse comfortably and effectively with researchers, practitioners, and regulators. He is well known and highly sought out as a teacher, collaborator, reviewer, and thought leader by industry, the regulatory community, academia, and practitioners. Bernie is the person that everyone wants on their team, whether that is for research projects, conference sessions, short courses, or project teams for particularly challenging cleanup sites. Bill is unusually versatile, excelling in both field and laboratory work as well as computer modeling. His publications cover traditional hydrogeological topics such as groundwater surface water interaction, as well as emerging topics such as virus transport in the subsurface and the occurrence and transport of pharmaceutical chemicals in groundwater. His papers typically present both field and modeling results. His work is groundbreaking, innovative, and his papers are highly cited. Bill is probably best known for his book Applied Groundwater Modeling, which many in the field consider to be the definitive guidance for modeling groundwater systems. Bill thinks creatively and outside of the box. He has an excellent command of the science and literature of hydrogeology and is articulate, witty, and diplomatic. He is frequently sought out as a committee member and has served on several panels for the national academies.
Congratulations to Bill and Bernard, and thank you for your contribution. The Outstanding Groundwater Project Award honors those who work to advance the industry in resources through imagination, creativity, innovation, and excellence. The Groundwater Supply Award is presented to CDM Smith, Inc. Accepting the award is Matt Camache.
Dar es Salaam, the largest city and economic engine of Tanzania, is experiencing large population growth, and authorities are in a race to catch up with the rapidly growing demands on all services, including their water supply. Following the discovery of the Kimbiji Aquifer, initial drilling results were radically different from past studies which had characterized the area as comprising clay-bound sand of limited groundwater potential. The Kimbiji Aquifer Assessment Project was initiated with the main objectives of describing the hydrogeological and water quality characteristics of the Kimbiji Aquifer and assessing its sustainable yield potential. CDM Smith served as a consultant to implementing the technically and logistically challenging project and led an international consortium. As part of the project, oil and gas exploration data from the early 1980s was recycled in a groundwater context and made it possible to verify a conceptual hydrogeological model. Guided by the interpretation of the reprocessed oil exploration data, as well as results from subsequent drilling and testing of 600-meter deep boreholes, the Kimbiji Aquifer system was estimated to have a significant quantity of new water to the city, potentially benefiting more than 2 million people over the next 30 years. CDM Smith's leadership of the Kimbiji Aquifer Assessment Project was a pioneering effort in deep coastal aquifers and a model of cooperation between the oil and water sectors.
Congratulations to CDM Smith for your inspirational work in the area of groundwater supply. The Life Member Award is presented to retired members or members of retirement age who have contributed a special service for the furtherance of groundwater industry or the NGWA. Please join me in welcoming our Life members. Mike Wireman. John Pitts is not present today. And Bill Wiseman.
Thank you very much.
Mike retired in 2014 after a 27-year career with the U.S. EPA as a national groundwater expert. In this role, he provided scientific and technical support to a wide variety of EPA's programs, including Superfund, RCRA, enforcement, NEPA, and water programs. Mike also provided scientific groundwater support to other federal agencies, international programs, and several Western states. His role at EPA included working closely with policymakers, decision makers, attorneys, public entities, private concerns, and junior staff members. The scope of Mike's contributions at EPA was immense in terms of technical expertise, regulatory reach, and geographic coverage. Thanks in large part to Mike, the science of groundwater was well represented, present, and accounted for at EPA. A coworker said Mike demonstrates a go above and beyond the call of duty attitude that demonstrates his passion for and commitment to the groundwater industry. John is a dedicated NGWA member who continually volunteers his in-depth expertise to benefit the association, its members, and the industry. His nomination stated John consistently commits to serve with the highest integrity and devotion. His long history of service is exemplary and extraordinary. In addition to leading NGWA as president in 2012, John has served on various NGWA boards, committees, and task forces, helped with the development of NGWA's industry cost calculators for drilling, geothermal, and pump installation projects, as well as the pump system sizer, and conducting numerous educational presentations both in the United States as well as abroad in countries including Brazil and China. John's advice to those starting in the field is to take a breath, evaluate the problem, determine corrective action, and then start the work. John considers working in the groundwater industry for over 40 years his proudest accomplishment. Bill retired from active teaching and research with the Department of Geosciences at the University of Montana in December 2014, and now holds the title Emeritus Regents Professor of Hydrogeology. A member of NGWA since 1974, Bill's dedication and service to the organization is manifest in the many roles he has filled. Bill has produced an influential body of hydrogeologic research and publications, including 78 professional publications, 40 reports, and 234 presentations. Bill's co-author of Applied Groundwater Modeling, Simulation of Flow and Advective Transport, said it was Bill's idea to write the book, and it was his commitment that drove the second edition. His ideas were crucial in structuring both editions, and his knowledge of the literature and experience applying models to real-world situations were critical to the success of the book. Bill showed me the joy of working with a true collaborator who brought to the project talents and knowledge that I lack.
Thank you for your contributions to the groundwater industry. The next awards honor those whose involvements affect many in the industry. These honorees are committed to the legislative process, to developing equipment, and advancing technology. Please join me in welcoming the following honorees to the stage. Technology Award honoree Glenn Dufell, MS. Equipment Design Award nominee Corey Miller.
And I'm honored to present the Standard Bearer Award to Dan Meyer, CWD, or MGWC, CV, CLD. Thank you, Dan.
Glenn has always been keenly interested in the application of computers in the field of groundwater science. At the outset of his professional career, Glenn quickly recognized the need for software tools to assist groundwater hydrologists in the interpretation of aquifer tests, and soon began developing PC software which integrated traditional visual matching techniques with modern curve fitting through optimization algorithms. Glenn's after-hours efforts led to the first release of the Aquifer Test Solver software in 1989. Glenn's contributions are not limited to software development. He has also performed a great service through his efforts to educate the groundwater community about the performance and analysis of aquifer tests through classroom education and online materials. A co-worker noted that given its size and global user base, one might expect that Glenn employs several software developers and hydrologists to keep the program going and provide its highly praised and free technical support. The reality, however, is far different. Everything is done by one passionate individual, Glenn. His contributions and commitment to our industry go far beyond the bounds of normal expectations. Corey established C. Miller Drilling and Centerline Manufacturing in 1983, with Centerline Manufacturing supporting his drilling company with a PCV screen slotting company. Over the years, as the drilling company became successful, his desire to improve the overall function and capacity of the water well drilling rigs, he designed the 7.5 by 10 mud pump. Corey's design increased the capacity of mud and lightened the drilling rigs with the aluminum bodies and gave more room for an increase of drill pipe capacity on board. The true innovation was providing the well driller a size and weight solution for their mud pump requirements that could integrate into both existing and new drilling rigs. Regardless of drill rig manufacturer and hydraulic system design, Centerline has provided a mud pump integration on hundreds of customers' drilling rigs. Corey recently refitted his original drilling rig and donated it to Agua Resources to provide drilling equipment, supplies, and manpower to drill water wells for impoverished villages in southern Mexico, supplying safe, clean water to villages who previously had no safe resource. Corey has created a very successful manufacturing business while teaching others innovative design, helping the less fortunate drill water wells in Mexico, and while constantly looking for new ways to improve his manufactured products for the industry. Dan has been described as a member's member of the NGWA. He constantly puts NGWA members first in his thoughts, action, and service. Dan has been a leader in our industry for 40+ years, and his commitment to our industry is unsurpassed. Dan has been a professional and personal leader in NGWA for years and has always gone out of his way to promote the association. Dan has participated in several NGWA Washington, D.C. fly-ins over the years and encourages everyone to take part in this important event to raise awareness and promote the importance of water resources to the economy.
Thank you for the award, and it's an honor to be recognized with Glenn and Corey. Congratulations. The Robert Storm Intersectional Cooperation Award is presented to a person who contributes to promoting collaboration, enhancing cooperation, and fostering community among all groundwater professionals, and to advancing the mutual interests of all those interested in communicating the importance of the Earth's water resources. Congratulations to Jeff Williams, NGWC CVC LD.
I've been involved in the groundwater industry for over 40 years, 38 seriously, full-time employed. I started back in the mid-1970s going out with my father on the drilling rig. I sort of thought all that big loud stuff up on the deck and all the iron moving around back there and the dust and the dirt and the grease was just awesome, and sort of never got away from it. And it's been a great industry to be a part of. Family business has been successful, and we've all had a good life. Some of my greatest accomplishments are, running a successful family business and being a part of that family at the same time. And anybody that's in a family business knows how hard it is to maintain the family component and the business component, and walk that line on a daily basis. And at the end of the day, we all sit down and have dinner together. I think it's important that as we go forward, everyone just keep your eyes and ears open and be prepared to collaborate on things that are greater than you are. Together we can do so many things. We have so many talented people that bring so much to the table. And working in the industry and being a part of the National Groundwater Association especially has taught me that. You don't live in your own little world. You live in this great, big, wonderful world with a lot of great people in it. And it is my honor to be able to continue to be a part of that. At some point in time, I may, however, take a little extra time and play a little extra golf, maybe on the weekends or maybe in Florida when I'm down there. but for the time being, I'm still dedicated to the industry here wholeheartedly, and will continue to work toward collaboration with my fellow groundwater professionals.
Are you going to say anything? Go ahead. Thank you.
Protect that right there. So you know what happens when you give me a microphone? I use it. Anybody that knows me knows I throw a lot of ideas at the wall to see what sticks. So I say to my wife, honey, you got to have a lot of ideas to have a good one. So she responds, you ought to be getting one pretty soon, hadn't you? She supported me in all of my efforts here. She's helped me to be a better person, so thank you. So there's three things here in recent history that have been started by many, many people. We seem to be lucky that most of them have concluded during my time here. Monday night, we signed an MOU with the Water Systems Council. And that was an incredible amount of work and dedication by a large number of people. And it's all across the board, whether they're manufacturers, suppliers, scientists and engineers, or contractors. Everybody dug in, and we got it done. And in recent memory, there has been no real collaboration between the two organizations, and I couldn't be more proud of what happened on Monday night. We have a new CEO. And if you don't think that that takes across-the-board collaboration to come up with somebody as fantastic as Mr. Terry Morris, then you're sadly mistaken. That takes a lot of work, and that takes input from everyone. We had a task group of some of the greatest individuals I'll ever have a chance to serve with here. They worked tirelessly and seamlessly to find that right person to continue to lead this organization in Mr. McRae's exit. Abe Lincoln once said that a man's legs ought to be long enough to reach the floor. Our incoming president is fortunate to have long legs. Otherwise, he'd be hovering just slightly off the floor. We have, for the first time in the history of this organization, an incoming president that is not from the contractor section of the National Groundwater Association. We have an individual coming in that has great leadership qualities and is the right person at the right time. Everyone recognized that. With some leadership from some of my predecessors, including many of the gentlemen sitting at that table right there today, Mr. Becker, Mr. Throne, Mr. Fowler, Mr. Henrik, you guys have set the stage for what we were able to do here. And I could not be more proud today to be an NGWA member. And we truly are better together. Thank you.
Well, I suppose.
Congratulations to Jeff, and thank you for your contributions to the industry. The M. King Hubbard Award recognizes major science or engineering contributions. It is an honor to recognize Beth Parker, PhD.
I have been a groundwater-focused scientist and engineer for 35 years, ever since I completed my master's degree. I discovered my interest in hydrogeology at Allegheny College in Meadville, Pennsylvania, where Dr. Sam Harrison and others had established an aquatic environments interdisciplinary degree program there in the early 1970s. It was based on environmental geology, chemistry, and biology courses with field labs including pounding pipes in the ground to measure hydraulic head and observe groundwater and surface water interactions. This intrigued me. I would say that I've always enjoyed solving problems beyond what was the most immediate solution. I've been drawn to some of the most difficult problems where solutions have not been obvious or straightforward, where creative teams of smart people have had to think differently or outside convention to find longer-term solutions. My advice to younger colleagues is to never be satisfied with the status quo, find ways for continuous improvement, and dare to be different. My philosophy in life? Don't give up. Set goals and go for them. As a young groundwater scientist in my 20s, I started out working for a large chemical-based manufacturing company in the mid-1980s, dealing with the new RCRA and Superfund regulations. We were installing new groundwater monitoring wells and discovering major contamination issues deep below the water table in bedrock within an urban residential neighborhood. It was all hugely relevant and urgent as we worked hard to understand the nature of the problem, mitigate risks, and attempt remediation, which is still our challenge at these most complex sites. This led me to Canada to obtain my PhD at the University of Waterloo and my current position directing field-based groundwater research at sites around the globe. Solving subsurface mysteries can be very challenging, with a unique set of hydrogeologic circumstances making this line of work always exciting.
Good morning, and thank you. I thought I'd just add a few more words to this. I was captured by a saying in a catalog that I read regularly, which happens to be for sportswear clothing. It's called Title IX clothing. And they have quotes by the various advocates of an outdoor sporting kind of life. But the quote was, "Nature overwhelms me in a positive way that a full email inbox never could." And I sat there and thought about it, and I thought, oh, this is me, this is my life, or this is how I feel. And I could easily replace nature with groundwater. I feel lucky that I happened into the profession, and I thank Sam Harrison for that, just in terms of plucking me out of a classroom and inspiring me with field-based work in our undergraduate labs, banging pipe in the ground, and directed me to Waterloo. And that took me a decade to get there after my undergrad, but eventually I got there and had lots more experience and so on. But what's remarkable, I think, is the teamwork approach that it takes and the interdisciplinary skill sets, and that being in the field, and that's what I think NGWA represents. And I'm very grateful to have colleagues here that are field experienced with the drillers and the contractors and the equipment companies, and all of that gets wrapped up into my research program, giving us lots of opportunities to test and develop and expand our knowledge in the groundwater field. And my students love it, and I've enjoyed it, and I think we have a lot of interesting things to go after in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Beth, and congratulations. The Ross L. Oliver Award recognizes a member who has made outstanding contributions to the groundwater industry. Please join me in congratulating Fletcher Driscoll, PhD, PG.
I believe we all want to be productive contributors and achieve success in our professional work. Here are 5 suggestions. See if some or all of them would work for you. First, I know that my overall success in life is measured in part by the success of the colleagues with whom I work, such as drilling contractors, scientists, engineers, students, and clients. Therefore, I should do what I can to empower them to reach their highest professional goals. Secondly, it's clear that the amount of help I can give others will depend on my knowledge of the physics, chemistry, and hydraulic characteristics of aquifer systems, well technologies, and field experience. Improve your value by attending continuing education courses at least once every year, or go back to school full-time. Thirdly, I volunteered to undertake professional projects that were offered to me even though I had no idea if I could complete them successfully. Ultimately, I was successful because I was forced to grow in my understanding of science as well as technology. I recommend that you enhance your own professional value by seizing any opportunities that come your way. For example, I volunteered to build 2 research devices in science labs at the University of Minnesota, serve as the main hydrologist for the largest urban lake study in Minneapolis, spend 2 summers on a glacier in the Yukon Territory studying the formation and melting history of terminal moraines, and teach undergraduate and professional courses at 3 universities and colleges. Fourth, given the complexity of my work, I needed to surround myself with people who were smarter or more experienced than me. I often serve as an expert witness in litigation involving wells or groundwater contamination. I was deposed more than 90 times in over 50 cases and gave testimony at 8 trials. In this constantly challenging work environment, I absolutely needed help in preparing for deposition and trial testimony. Fifth, what you know must be broadcast as widely as possible through giving talks to your colleagues, lay groups, at conferences, or writing articles for professional journals. Do something to achieve this goal every year. Thanks for listening to these thoughts, and good luck in your work. Thank you. Well, good morning. I wanted to thank several entities for whatever success I've had in the groundwater industry. First of all, I'm humbled and honored by this award because I think it's the oldest award that the association gives. And now I'm probably one of the oldest members, and so maybe it's appropriate by now. Secondly, John Ranke's here, who represented Johnson when I was doing the second edition of Groundwater and Wells. And John was a stalwart in defending our constantly expanding ideas of the second edition. And he had to face upper management with every demand that we gave him. And fortunately, he was very successful and got us the right amount of funding for that project. As it turned out, the book has been quite successful, I think. Unfortunately, John left Johnson before all the income came in, so the poor guy actually defended us and did a great job, but didn't reap any rewards. So thanks for your humbleness and your Christian attitude toward us. That was very nice. Well, in doing a book like Johnson's book, you have to consult with lots of people. And in the critical chapters, I would send out 40 copies of a draft for about 10 or 15 chapters. And we would get up to 4,000 comments on a single chapter from the people who received it. And it was a very difficult job to try to figure out what was the truth. But if you perceived the regulation, the type of drilling rigs, the types of rules that the driller had to go under, the types of rigs and everything, it all made sense. And so we were able to keep most of the verbiage just as we had proposed. But as a result of all the consultations that the water well contractors gave us in weekends where we gathered together, those were some of the incredible meetings I think I've ever attended, because every well driller knows better than anybody else what should be done. And so the conversations that we had were very animated, to say the least. And then lastly, we were able to put together the Groundwater and Wells book, the second edition, so that it's transitory in time, that I think that it will last. Seemingly, it's selling now for 2 to 5 times in a used condition as to its original price. So I feel good about that because rarely does a technical book last so long. It was printed any number of times from 2000, or pardon me, from 1986 to 2006. Over 150,000 copies. So I feel good about that. And then there were 2 people that were instrumental in the finishing of the product. One was Tom Davis, who was a final proofreader, very careful young guy with an enormous memory of facts and figures. And then my manager, Lynn Page Dawson, who dedicated herself to producing a good book. So I want to thank the association one more time for giving me this award, and for Johnson for giving me the chance to actually do the book. And it's nice to see David Keel here too, who was a long-term member of the staff at Johnson. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you, Fletcher, for your contributions and congratulations. I think all of us have probably read his book, whether we wanted to or not. It's been a privilege to present today's awards to these outstanding group of groundwater professionals. Thank you.